right, I'm going to put this down for just a second. I apologize.
Move the bottle.
Move the bottle? Okay.
Somebody walk off from school.
I sit for 3 hours. I can stand for 20 minutes. And thank you very much for inviting me. It's great to see everybody here today, and I appreciate you all taking time out of your Sunday to celebrate our right to carry. I confess, this is my second speech. I had a whole nice typed speech that I had written, and Friday night after I got back from my anniversary dinner with my wife, I thought I should probably read this and go through it and make sure it's what I wanted to say. And as I'm reading it, it just didn't sound right. So yesterday on the airplane and yesterday in my hotel room, I rewrote this speech, and I hope I can read my handwriting. And there is a reason why I normally print things out on the computer. The reason why I sat down to rewrite this, frankly, is because up until yesterday, I really wasn't sure what I wanted to say. I knew what I wanted to talk about. I wanted to talk about concealed carry, but talk show hosts can talk about anything, and all too often we talk a lot and don't really say that much, and I didn't want to waste your time by hearing me prattle on. So on my way to the airport yesterday, I did something that most talk show hosts won't recommend you do. I turned off my radio in my car, and please don't do that between 9 and midnight if you're listening to serious on that radio. But I just sat and I thought as I was driving, what is it that I want to say? What is the essence of what I want to tell you? And I decided it's thank you, actually. That's what I need to say. I need to say thank you, again, for giving up your Sunday to be here. And thank you for being involved in an organization like the NRA, like Ohioans for Concealed Carry. Thank you for exercising your right to carry. Thank you for exercising your constitutional rights and for doing it responsibly. Thank you for being passionate. Thank you for preserving your rights. And frankly, thank you for preserving your life. Because that's really what this is all about. I mean, why do we have a right to keep and bear arms? It's not so we can walk around the woods and carry a gun and harvest game. We have a right to keep and bear arms to preserve and protect our life. Why do we have a right to life, frankly? It's a question that not many people ask these days, but it was something that was very much on the minds of the Founding Fathers. It's the same reason, frankly, we carry for the same reason that we cried when we held our child for the first time. We exercise our right to carry for the same reason that we mourn the loss of life of those that we love. We know that life is precious. We know that we're not here forever. We know that one day we will be gone. And we want to hang on to this life. We want to treasure this life for as long as we can. But we don't get a whole lot of messages about how precious and valuable life is these days. Earlier this week in Washington, D.C., there was a rapper named T.I. who came to town as part of the Hip Hop Caucus's Respect My Vote campaign. Now, T.I. will not be voting in the November elections because he's a convicted felon. He was actually convicted a year ago for illegally buying machine guns and silencers, but he also has on his record a felon in possession conviction, assault of a female sheriff's deputy, and several drug convictions as well. He got a plea bargain for his last charges. He should have faced a minimum of 4 years and 9 months in prison, but he'll do a year and a day. Actually, he won't do a year and a day. He got sentenced to a year and a day because if he had been sentenced to a year, he would have had to do the year. If you get sentenced to a year and a day, see, then you're eligible for early release. So they gave him a year and a day, so he'll be out in about 6 months. He has 1,000 hours of community service that he has to do. And as you can imagine, when he stood before the judge to accept his plea bargain, he apologized profusely, turned over a new leaf, Your Honor. I want to teach the kids about the importance of voting. I want to teach kids not to be like me. And T.I.'s got a new album coming out this fall where T.I. is once again talking about killing people for disrespecting him and leading a gang lifestyle. T.I., by the way, has been nominated for a Grammy. So it's not like this guy is operating on the fringes of society. In fact, I had an idea last night. I think if you listen to guys like T.I. and 50 Cent, I mean, they have talked about killing so many people. If we sent T.I. to Afghanistan and we sent 50 Cent to Iraq, I mean, really, maybe they could get the job done, and we could bring this ordinance home. Just let the gangster rap. We have video games like Grand Theft Auto 4, where you can pretend to be Tony Montana and Scarface. We have games like Call of Duty, where you can pretend to be Audie Murphy in World War II. It's not that all of these video games are violent for the sake of being violent, but killing somebody on TV cheapens our human life. One of my favorite shows is 24. But I swear after, they're up to season 6 now, I think, there shouldn't be anybody left in Los Angeles. I mean, really, Jack Bauer should have killed them all by now. And these are the messages that we get each and every day, and frankly, these are the messages that our kids get every day. Life is not precious. Life is not valuable. Life is not worth protecting. It's not worth defending. Even the corporations that we utilize every day. Anybody eat Pizza Hut? No, that's good. How about KFC? No. Long John Silver's?
No.
Good. Anybody go to Disney World lately?
No.
These corporations believe that they can fire you for using a firearm to defend your life, or for keeping a firearm in your car so that you can defend your life to and from work if need be. And yet, so many of Americans continue to order Pizza Hut. They continue to go to Disney World. The reason, though, why that pizza delivery driver has that gun is because he's like you. He recognizes and realizes that our life is worth defending. And this, frankly, is one of the strongest links that we have to our founding fathers. They got it. They understood it. I mean, we are the intellectual offspring of Washington and Jefferson and Adams and Madison. They knew how much life was worth, and this is how they put it. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, and that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. They fought a war of freedom on that belief. They were willing to die for that belief so that we could live free, because they knew that the life of a pauper had just as much innate value as the life of a lord. That has been forgotten in places like New York City, where if you own a bodega, you're not going to be able to legally get a gun license, but if you are Howard Stern, no problem. If you are a contributor to Mayor Bloomberg's re-election campaign, you probably won't have any problems getting a concealed carry license, but if you're a street sweeper, forget about it. These anti-gunners value life differently. And frankly, you don't. That's the difference between us and them. We get it. We are not just ready and willing to defend our own lives, we are ready and willing to defend the lives of others. That sense of community is so important, and frankly, it's so rare these days that we would defend strangers, people we don't know anything at all about. They could vote differently than we do, they could have different opinions on everything under the sun, but if we saw somebody that was being attacked, if we saw somebody that needed help, we would help them. There aren't many Americans these days who would say the same thing. There aren't many people around the world who would say the same thing.